If I asked you who the greatest Spider-Man of all time is, most people would probably name just two people: Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland. One is the Spider-Man who made the whole world fall in love with superhero movies, and the other is the one who gave Spider-Man a whole new identity in the MCU. But the real question isn't who your favorite is. The real question is this: if we compare these two Spider-Men, one by one, based on their lives, powers, journey, suits, villains, achievements, and movies, then who would ultimately come out on top? Today, we're doing the biggest and most detailed Spider-Man comparison ever. And trust me, this is something you've never seen before, and there will be no fanboy bias in this video. We'll judge everything based only on what was actually shown in the movies. So, let's start from the very beginning, the moment both of their Spider-Man stories began. First, let's talk about Tobey Maguire. In 2002, Peter Parker was an ordinary high school student. He lived with his Uncle Ben and Aunt May. During a school trip, he gets bitten by a genetically modified spider, and the very next day, his entire life changes. His eyesight improves, his body becomes much stronger than before, and the most unique thing is that his body starts producing natural, organic webs, just like a spider. That means Tobey's Spider-Man can shoot webs directly from his body without using any technology. Now let's move on to Tom Holland. Tom's origin in the MCU was never fully shown. We only know that he was also bitten by a radioactive spider, but the MCU didn't think it was necessary to show Spider-Man's origin again. When we first meet Tom's Peter Parker, he has already been Spider-Man for around 6 months. The spider bite changes his body, but he doesn't get organic webs. Instead, he creates his own mechanical web shooters. Besides that, both of them have a spider sense that allows them to sense danger before it happens. And here, both of their spider senses are extremely powerful. So, it would be wrong to say that one is better than the other. And yes, even though Tom didn't have organic webs at the beginning, he has now gained organic webs in Brand New Day. So when it comes to their organic webs and spider sense, both of them are equal. Neither one gets ahead of the other here. Tobey learned to become Spider-Man on his own right from the beginning, while Tom had Tony Stark enter his life very early, who not only gave him access to new technology, but also introduced him to the world of the Avengers. And whenever Tom faced a major threat as Spider-Man, some Avenger would show up to help him, but Tobey had to handle the world on his own from the very beginning. There wasn't a single superhero standing beside him. In fact, there aren't even any Avengers in his universe to help him. He learned to save the world all by himself. So here, Tobey gets ahead of Tom because he has fought some of the biggest threats completely on his own. Tobey's Spider-Man has his own homemade suit. He doesn't have any advanced AI suit. He fights using his homemade suit and his own abilities, while Tom has worn several different high-tech, advanced suits throughout his journey. First, the Homecoming suit, then the Iron Spider suit, and then the Far From Home suit. All of these suits were quite advanced and helped Tom a lot during his fights. Although he doesn't have a high-tech suit in Brand New Day right now, he has used several high-tech suits in the past. Meanwhile, Tobey's Spider-Man has continued using that same classic homemade suit to this day. So here, Tobey's Spider-Man gets ahead of Tom because he has defeated some major villains without the help of a high-tech suit. Tobey's Spider-Man lost his beloved Uncle Ben early on. After that, he learned that with great power comes great responsibility. On the other hand, Tom's Spider-Man also lost his Aunt May, which completely broke him. So here, when it comes to sacrifice, both are equal. One lost his uncle while the other lost his aunt. In Spider-Man 2, during his fight with Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man ends up on top of a speeding train. To slow the train down, he continuously fires webs from his web shooters, one web after another, but the train just won't stop. Eventually, Spider-Man uses all of his strength and manages to stop the train. This is Tobey Spider-Man's most iconic strength feat to date. Now, if we talk about Tom Holland, in Spider-Man Homecoming, Peter Parker tries to stop a massive ferry accident. The ferry splits into two halves. Peter fires his webs at both sides and tries to hold the two halves together. But one thing becomes immediately clear here. His strength alone isn't enough. He keeps struggling. His webs continue to break, and Peter becomes almost completely exhausted. Then Tony Stark's technology comes in to help him. So here, it's clear that Tobey Spider-Man's strength is slightly ahead of Tom's, because Tobey doesn't get anyone's help here. He stops the entire train completely on his own. Now let's talk about the sticking power of their feet. As you've probably noticed, we haven't seen Tom's Spider-Man use his wall-crawling ability to the same extent, and when we see Tom's Spider-Man trying to hold back Thanos, his feet start getting pulled off the ground. Meanwhile, Tobey's Spider-Man has much stronger sticking power in his feet, which we saw during his train fight against Dr. Octopus. Tobey stays firmly attached with his feet throughout the fight, even while battling on the moving train. So when it comes to the sticking power of their feet, Tobey's Spider-Man Spider-Man gets ahead of Tom's. Now let's talk about reflexes. Tom's spider sense allows him to detect incoming attacks very quickly. In Spider-Man Far From Home, we see his reflexes become extremely fast even during Mysterio's illusions. In No Way Home, he also reacts instantly to sudden attacks. When it comes to Tobey, his reflexes are also extremely impressive. Dodging Green Goblin's attacks in Spider-Man and avoiding Doc Ock's mechanical arms in Spider-Man 2 are great examples. And then there's that iconic scene where he catches all the food while holding MJ in his arms. That scene is still everyone's favorite. So, when it comes to reflexes, both Spider-Men are equal. Tom's Spider-Man is pretty quick at understanding the situation during a fight and changing his strategy. He doesn't rely only on strength. Instead, he creatively uses his environment and web shooters. In Homecoming, he uses his surroundings to his advantage against Vulture. In Infinity War, against Ebony Maw's restraints and even against Thanos on Titan, he quickly coordinates with the other Avengers. And in No Way Home, he understands the abilities of different villains and comes up with a strategy to neutralize them one by one. But Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is also extremely intelligent in battle. In Spider-Man 2, against Doc Ock's mechanical arms, he doesn't just dodge them, he understands their movements and counters at the right moment. In Spider-Man 3, against Sandman, he understands his weakness and uses water against him. He also reads Green Goblin's attacks and patterns during their fight and counters them. So here, when it comes to battle IQ, Tobey's Spider-Man has a slight edge. Now, if we talk about durability, Tobey's Spider-Man can take an incredible amount of physical punishment. In Spider-Man 1, during his brutal fight with Green Goblin, he takes several powerful punches and impacts, but he keeps fighting. In Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock throws him into buildings and hits him with heavy objects like a train. The biggest example is the train sequence. Spider-Man uses all his strength to stop a runaway train, putting his body under tremendous stress. And even after saving the passengers, he is still able to stand. Tom's Spider-Man is also extremely durable. In Homecoming, he survives Vulture's attacks and even a building collapse. In Infinity War, he keeps fighting despite taking attacks from Thanos. In No Way Home, Green Goblin brutally beats him, slamming him into the ground and structures multiple times, but Tom still gets back up and continues fighting. And the most important thing is that Tom's Spider-Man can take a huge amount of punishment even without the Iron Spider armor. So here, when it comes to durability, there's really no competition between them. Both Spider-Men have incredible durability in their own ways. Tobey's Spider-Man has enhanced healing, but his healing is nowhere near Wolverine's level of instant regeneration. In Spider-Man 1, during his fight with Green Goblin, Peter gets a cut on his hand, which still hasn't fully recovered even after a significant amount of time has passed. Tom's Spider-Man also has enhanced recovery, but not to a major extent. In No Way Home, after taking an extremely brutal beating from Green Goblin, he is able to get back into fighting condition after some time. In Homecoming, he also gets back into action despite heavy injuries and exhaustion. But Tom's movies also don't show any clear on-screen feat of rapid regeneration. So, when it comes to healing factor, neither Spider-Man is anything special. Both of them only have a very minor healing factor. Now, when it comes to controlling anger, Tobey's Spider-Man is able to control his emotions pretty well in the beginning. And in Spider-Man 3, because of the influence of the symbiote suit, his anger and aggression increase significantly. He becomes more arrogant and impulsive, and even his behavior toward Harry changes. But eventually, Peter realizes that he is changing and rejects the symbiote. This shows that, in the end, he is able to regain control over his emotions. Now, on the other hand, Tom's Spider-Man also goes through a lot of emotional pressure, but his biggest test comes in No Way Home. After Aunt May's death, he almost kills Green Goblin in a fit of rage. He becomes completely emotional, and it becomes difficult to stop him. But the most important moment comes when Tobey's Peter stops him. If Tobey hadn't stopped him, Tom might have actually killed Green Goblin. So when it comes to controlling anger, Tobey's Spider-Man gets the edge. Now let's talk about their wall crawling and sticking abilities. Tobey's Spider-Man is extremely natural when it comes to climbing walls. His spider powers are so strong that he can easily stick to walls and ceilings without using any gadgets. What's especially impressive is that Tobey can move across vertical surfaces with his full body weight, and his grip is so strong that it's not easy to knock him off. Meanwhile, Tom can also easily crawl on walls and ceilings, but his wall crawling isn't limited to just climbing. He combines his agility and speed to quickly change direction while moving across walls. As we saw in Homecoming, he can easily climb up buildings, making his movement look much more dynamic. So here, both Spider-Men come out on top because when it comes to climbing and sticking to walls, neither one has any real competition. Now let's talk about their love stories and girlfriends. Tobey's Peter and MJ have known each other since childhood, but their relationship has always been complicated because of Spider-Man's responsibilities. In Spider-Man 2, Peter gives up his powers for MJ. Then, In Spider-Man 3, their relationship reaches the verge of falling apart, but in the end, they get back together. Meanwhile, Tom's Peter and MJ's relationship begins in Homecoming and officially becomes a relationship in Far From Home. In No Way Home, MJ stays by Peter's side, but after Strange's spell, she forgets him. And even after Peter meets her again, he chooses not to reveal his identity. So, both of their love stories have had their ups and downs, and neither of them has had the chance to start a family yet. So, neither Spider-Man's love story has been completely successful so far. Guys, now let's talk about the movies of both Spider-Men. Tobey's first Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man, was released in 2002 and became even more successful than expected. The movie had a budget of $139 million, while it made $825 million worldwide. After that came Tobey's second movie, Spider-Man 2, which was released in 2004. Its budget was $200 million, and it made $797 million worldwide. Then came Tobey's next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 3, which made $895 million on a budget of $258 million. All three of Tobey's Spider-Man movies were extremely successful, and more importantly, they helped give Spider-Man a completely new identity around the world. After that, Marvel decided to replace Tobey, and from then on, we didn't get another solo Spider-Man movie with Tobey, except for his cameo in No Way Home. Now, let's talk about Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies. We first saw him in Captain America: Civil War, but his first solo movie came in 2017, titled Spider-Man: Homecoming. It was more successful than expected, making $880 million on a budget of $175 million. After that, Tom's next solo Spider-Man movie came in 2019, titled Spider-Man: Far From Home. It made $1.13 billion on a budget of $160 million. Then came Tom's next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man: No Way Home, which broke records. Made on a budget of $200 million, the movie shocked everyone by making $1.9 billion worldwide. And right now, Tom's next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man: Brand New Day, is playing in theaters. So here, both Spider-Man's movies entertained audiences far beyond expectations for their respective eras. They also performed extremely well at the box office, and more importantly, both versions successfully helped make the Spider-Man character even more famous around the world. Guys, Spider-Man is a character that is famous all around the world, and there's honestly so much to talk about when it comes to him. So that's it for today's video, but you can share your opinion in the comments. Which of these two Spider-Men do you think is better? And also, let us know which Spider-Man movies you like the most.